sharing your story, you were talking about how the people you wanted to sell flash to weren't able to handle the write endurance issues, and you needed to create a controller. Could you talk a little bit about what the capabilities of the people you were selling to that made it so that they couldn't handle the software that's basically in your controller? And do you believe in the age of multi-core that dynamic has changed because now anybody can get a 16-core system, right?
Yeah, there's some questions where it's not my area of expertise. Maybe Ted can answer it better than I, but definitely better than I. But I'm sorry, I was focused on the second one. I'll be the first one. Can you repeat the first question, please?
Sure. In the beginning, they were unable.
Okay. What were the people looking for? These were early adopters. They knew nothing about Flash, but they liked what I was telling them, that this could replace a disk drive and would be very rugged. They didn't have to worry about ever it crashing. But 1988, 1990 type Flash was really not. I mean, I came into the door and I said, look, I have Flash right now that I could do 10,000 cycles. Is that okay? And they said, well, come back here when you're, at least 1 million cycles at the system level. All right, okay, and of course, and 100 times cheaper. So here I was saying, well, in order to get there, I first have to spend more money on a very expensive controller.
Yes, I got it.
Yes. Good.
But here's the thing I don't get. The money that you, just by the way you look when you say I have to spend it on an expensive controller, I'm thinking, what Eli is thinking, why do I have to do this? Why are these guys so stupid that they can't write the controller software and run it on the multi-core system, right? And there's a little bit of pain in your face when you talk about this, but you realize it looks like I have to do it to make it fit their brain. I'm trying to understand why your team could figure out what needs to be done, and Apple couldn't, and HP couldn't, and a whole bunch of other people who are really good at hardware-dependent software couldn't figure it out.
Okay, if I could interrupt, I've got two answers for you, and they're amongst the slides here. So first of all, one of the answers that why couldn't Apple or why couldn't all those other people do it initially was all of these things within System Flash.
Yeah.
That's a lot of smarts. There's an incredible amount of work there and an incredible amount of things that have to come together to make that happen. It's a very sophisticated firmware that runs on that controller. So that's answer number one. Why couldn't just anybody do it? It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And then the second answer to the question, other ways to do this, and this answers this other question, like is there anything besides a hard disk drive interface? You notice in the bottom here it says the NVMe, PCIe, SSD. So this device right here, it's an add-in card, it uses the PCI Express interface, but it plugs directly in, and it's like memory accessible on the bus. So that, and then the one on top, that's an ATA, or a SATA, I should say, device. Those are two different variants of the use of Flash. And so the one on top uses a standard hard disk interface, the one on the bottom does not. So that's how we're getting away from that old thing, because frankly, that's a lot of baggage. So we use a controller, but if you don't have to rely on the old architecture, why not? So that's what's happening.
So I can give you my view of what happened at that time. I'm talking about the 90s, right? This is not we have tried to compete with Eddie, this flash file server, the program that we sell. People just, number one, do not like it. You do not underestimate the challenge of writing software that work under all conditions, under all situations. It's not easy.
Yeah, got it.
But
And so the companies that are, we are not one of the big guys. So the Flash at the early days, we have 10,000 customers. They buy 300 units there. They use it for their control. They're not the big guys. The big guys, I can give you one example. In those days, the Wintel model, Microsoft was really the one that controls everything. We try to convince Microsoft to write the operating system to work with Flash.
Yeah.
They refuse. It's not their priority to them.
That's right.
Oh, God.
But I really want to answer your first question about, because I faced these guys for the first several years, but I came at it from the point of view of a physicist.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm a physicist. I'm now a businessman. Actually, I'm retired. I'm none of that. But I understood the physics in a way that I had all the scars, and it was many, many years of getting that knowledge firsthand, doing the experiments, building the samples, and so on. And I knew that it would be, I could explain it to them all day long, but at the end of the day, I had to do it for them.
Yes.
And
And I accept that as a fact. I was wondering if you had any insights into system integrators where they did not understand that this was the future. Because if you don't do Flash, you're not a player in the mobile business.
Yeah.
Well, it's cost.
But he
At
was
first, it
telling
was a
us-
cost
Yeah.
thing.
And for you
So-
to do the firmware meant a very long test cycle that you brought in house. It was very difficult to do.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to wrap this
And
up
it would be
now.
obsolete. By the time they got it, I was already into my next generation, and the firmware code needed to be different.
I can't imagine trying to keep straight all the different operating systems from different vendors, each trying to keep track of their own internal data structures, to keep track of what somebody else has been doing in terms of saving information. You want a nice, clean, high-level interface between the operating system and the mass storage. It has to be the registers.
Right. So it is host-independent, plug-compatible disk drive replacement. That statement is very powerful, and that made the industry. Thank you, everybody.